Hey everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. It's Code Karen. Welcome to r/Am I the A-hole, where we have 4 incredible stories. If you're new to this channel, a sub would be great. Let's jump to the stories. Our first story is, am I the a-hole for forcing my boyfriend to do the dishes? I'm lactose intolerant. Every time I make tacos, my boyfriend always makes jokes about how I'm disrespecting Mexican culture by not having cheese in my tacos. I've told him multiple times I'm not going to give myself the runs just to make him feel better about my tacos. He's not even Mexican, he's white. This came to my head last night when we were having tacos again. I got up to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, I noticed my taco looked tampered with. I go to inspect, and lo and behold, there's cheese buried underneath the other ingredients. I told my boyfriend he was a raging jerk and went to bed, leaving him to do the cleanup. I still haven't spoken to him all morning, and he's complaining about how I forced him to do the dishes, because normally I do them. Am I really the a-hole here? Our second story is, am I the a-hole for kicking out my brother, who our parents have previously disowned because he told my now ex-fiancé that I cheated 9 years ago? For reference, my brother Connor is 19, I am 26, and my now ex-fiancé Hunter is 28. My brother and I live together. Also for reference, already mentioned in the title, but my brother was kicked out when he was 16 because our parents snooped through his phone and found out he was gay. Connor had a party last weekend, so he invited his friends over, and they were all 18 to 22 years old, drinking and playing games. Hunter and I were about to head out to let them have the place to themselves when Connor asked if we wanted to join them. I initially refused, bit too old to be playing drinking games, but he insisted, and Hunter thought it'd be fun to act like college students again. We all got pretty drunk, and Connor had the idea of playing Never Have I Ever. A few rounds in, the statement, "Never have I ever cheated before," came up. Now's a good time to mention that Hunter is really against cheating. His ex-fiancée cheated on him, and it emotionally wrecked him. And unfortunately, as a lot of dumb, immature 17-year-olds do, I cheated on a former boyfriend of 5 months. It was a stupid mistake. He found out, and it, understandably, ended things. This was almost a decade ago. I obviously learned my lesson, and I look back at that time with shame. I obviously never cheated since. Well, my brother knows about this. So when I didn't drink, he went, "Hey sis, what the heck? You know you cheated on a former boyfriend. You have to drink to that." My boyfriend paused, looked at me, looked at him, and just walked out of the room. I followed him and tried to talk to tell him that it was a stupid teenage mistake, but he wasn't having any of it and ended things on the spot. I'm numb. I'm heartbroken. He was my everything and more, and I still don't know how I'm going to move on. Connor tried to apologize, but I feel nothing but sadness and emptiness. This morning, I served him an eviction notice. He begged me to stay and said he didn't mean to ruin my relationship, and he just didn't think when he said those words. I just can't look at him right now. He ruined my life. After I raised him and cared for him like he was my own. I feel so hurt. Am I being unreasonable? Am I the a-hole for kicking him out because of this? Our third story is, am I the a-hole for starting my wedding on time and not waiting for my parents? I got married on Saturday, and it was absolutely amazing, except for one thing. My parents showed up late. They knew the ceremony time, and my husband and I made it very clear to everyone, both in the invites and in person, that we were going to start exactly at that time. The venue cost us a lot of money. We paid for the entire wedding ourselves, and we were only able to use it for a limited amount of time, so we wanted to make every minute count. So the wedding day came, and a half an hour before we were scheduled to start, my parents still hadn't showed up. My husband and I both called them multiple times, but nobody answered. We waited and still heard nothing. Finally, the start time arrived, and my parents still weren't there. I was really mad at this point. The wedding coordinator asked if I wanted to go ahead and start the wedding, and I said yes. All of our other guests were already there, and we wanted to be considerate of their time. My parents showed up 15 minutes later and missed the entire ceremony. It turns out they did leave early, but got rear-ended at a traffic light and had to deal with insurance, police, etc. They only have a landline, no cell phones, so they couldn't get in touch with me. Obviously, there's no way I could have known this. I'm still frustrated with them for not making more of an effort to get to the venue early, and they're furious at me for not delaying the wedding 15 minutes so they could be there. Am I the a-hole for being selfish and wanting to start my own wedding despite the fact that my parents were AWOL? Our last story is, am I the a-hole for telling my daughter to cancel her marriage? I have a daughter, 27, who was with her boyfriend for 7 years, and they got engaged not long ago. Just a small party, not many guests. She always talked to me about how she loved him, how he always listened to her, and he was made for her. I agreed with her, since I found him to be a good-natured man. He was kind and humble, and was always respectful to our family. We met his parents for dinner twice or thrice, and they hit me as a little sexist, asking questions to my wife like, "I don't know why you're working. Isn't that the husband's job? It's the mother's job to be taking care of the children." Now that they wanted to make it more serious, they planned a marriage. Anyway, we have been planning the marriage, and one day her boyfriend comes to me and says that his parents want to talk to me. I was going to call my daughter too, but he said that she wasn't allowed. I went with him, and his parents started talking to me about a dowry. I was confused and said that there was no dowry, and in 2020, who even gives a dowry? But the boyfriend and his parents started lecturing me about how necessary it was, and how my daughter would be a stay-at-home wife. My daughter has told me that she wants to continue her dreams, so I don't know what this is about. Anyway, they told me that I should give it a thought and not to tell my daughter for the time being. However, I immediately told my daughter about it, and she started crying, saying she didn't know that her boyfriend was so sexist. She asked me what she could do now, and I told her that she wasn't being forced to get married and could cancel her marriage if she didn't want it. Well, that is exactly what happened, and now her boyfriend and his parents are calling me saying I took away the love of his life, etc. On top of that, some of her friends, some were bridesmaids, said that I was a jerk for breaking up what would have been a healthy marriage. But it's my daughter's happiness that matters. Am I the a-hole for wanting the best for my daughter? Comment below.